Welcome, welcome, viewers. This is A Vision Entertainment once again, and I'm your host, Tommy Slaughter. We have another special guest. Her name is Beth. She's a versatile singer, songwriter, producer, and actress hailing from Detroit, Michigan, and the daughter of Motown legend Johnny Griffith of the Funk Brothers. Wow. Singer Beth has released two full-length solo albums, which is Free and Get to Know Me. So Free came out in 2017 and Get to Know Me came out 2022. And I want to thank you for that, for coming on to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome. The Voice. You were a contestant on season 16, coached by both Kelly Clarkson and John Legend. What was the audition and cross battle experience like?
So the audition process is much more than what you actually see on television, first of all. Okay. So when I first did my very first audition, they will send you to the nearest city or, in your area, in your region. So I went to Chicago for an audition. And then I was told to wait a couple of weeks, and then I'll find out if I make it to the next audition, which will be in LA. Okay. So then I did make it to the second audition. And then there was more like a third audition as well when you get there, because you audition for the casting agency, then you audition for the producers, and then you audition for the band.
Wow.
To see if you're able to sing with the live band, because you are singing with the live band on that show. And so you're auditioning there. And then the fourth audition is the one on television. So that's what, the public sees the television audition. They don't know that you've already auditioned at least three other times before you make it to television. So to go through those auditioning processes, it made you sharpen your game. It made you make sure that you were doing the best that you could do, but you also knew that you were at the hands of the producers and the casting agents and whatnot. Because what people don't realize is that show is a reality show. So they are casting you for the look and the sound and the direction that they want to go for that season. So the audition process wasn't bad for me because I was used to singing live. I was used to singing with bands. So that was not hard for me. What was weird for me was when you're auditioning for the casting agent and when you're auditioning for the producers and you're auditioning for the band, because they're sitting there with pencil and paper and they're looking at you and they're taking notes. So that's really
taking notes.
Right. You see them literally taking notes and you're like, oh my God. So, that was weird. But actually, and then when you audition for the coaches, that's where the live audience is there. That's when all the cameras come in. That's when you see the stars are coming in, celebrity coaches that you have. So that process wasn't the worst, but it was just long. And then actually being on the show and being coached by Kelly first, and then being stolen by John and coached by him, I received advice from them that I still use now. I received advice from them that was very it was life-changing advice, and it was performance-changing advice for me, because now I perform different based on some of the techniques that Kelly and John shared with me, discussed with me, and it actually helps me in my performances today. So overall, I'm really I'm grateful for the experience that I had. Yeah.
I know it was great because you're dealing with legends,
Yes.
And also, how did you actually get the phone call? Do they watch you on social media watching the performers? Were you getting watched on your social media pages? How did you actually get that call to come on to the show?
So there's a casting agency that does casting. There's also the cattle call where people get in line and do it. I don't even know if they still do that anymore, but more so now they take online submissions. So when I was on the show, I think people were still lining up, and waiting all day to audition in front of people. Now, more so, I believe it's casting agents looking at your social media and looking, and there are online submissions. I got a call through my manager, and the first time they called, I said no, because I didn't want to be scrutinized on TV. You know what I'm saying? I was just like,
you feel as though you wasn't ready yet, or
I just felt like I didn't want to be scrutinized on TV because, you know, and be rejected on television. Like I was like, I don't want
that's big. That's real big.
Because there are really good singers that go on the show and don't make it, or don't even get on the show. I can't even tell you how many great people were there when I was there that didn't make it to the show, you know? So they called the first time and I said no. And then plus my mother was ill. And then they called again, like 6 to 7 months later.
Yeah.
And that time, and my mother had gotten better. And then I said yes. So that's how I got on the show. I got a phone call to come and audition, that they thought that I should just at least come audition. And it led to me doing the show. And
yeah, that was great. Now, what do you think about the show? And I'm going to ask you like the pros and cons. For me, I think that show can either make you or break you as an artist, where it can kill your career. Is it that deep?
I don't think the show can break you, but I think the show only makes you as much as you work it. Because that particular show, unlike American Idol, they don't really back the winners, and they don't push the winners, or they don't push any of the artists that have been on the show. Once you're on the show, you have to take the momentum that is created or that you create, and you have to run with that after the show. They're not going to really promote you and push you.
So you're doing your own work, basically.
I have to do my own work. You know, the work was to get on the show. And then after that, you have to work. And I think in terms of breaking you, well, what happens is if you get on the show, and I've seen this happen, there's a lot of people that were on my teams, the teams that I was on, and I don't see them singing or participating in music anymore. Being eliminated in front of 10 million people can be very devastating. And so in terms of breaking, maybe I would say that could break you, because even me, I got home and I had a bout of depression for being eliminated from the show. First of all, because I feel like the person who I was up against wasn't better than me. And I'm just being honest.
The world knew that. The world saw it.
So when that happens and you see it and there's nothing you can do about it, that alone, you know what I'm saying? So I came home and worked, and I've continued to work and continued to sing. The girl, and it's nothing against her, because this was all what they did. This was scripted for The Voice. I don't see her singing. Now, I don't know if she still is.
But you don't see her.
But I don't see her. And she's not pushing her career in a way that I'm pushing mine. And you kind of just see the unfairness of the show. And I had to deal with that bout of depression, because I felt I was wronged, and I felt that I should have still been on the show. But that's what I had to deal with. But I decided to take a breather and continue moving forward. And then I also feel like it was just kind of time, because after time and just life, because I was on the show in 2019, and we all know what happened in 2020.
That's right.
So there were 2 to 3 years that I really could not promote myself in the way that I wanted to, which would have been live shows and performances because of that. So yeah, I kind of was a victim of circumstance in terms of after the show and not being able to perform, because I was starting to perform and do a whole lot of stuff, and everything got shut down. So that's the life part of it.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I never understood how watching that show and the judges, how do they judge? You can see clearly your voice was way over another person's voice, but they chose the other person. I don't know if it's politics. I don't know if it's like, no, we're not going to, and I'm speaking. I don't know if we're going to pick the black girl over the white girl. We can't. I don't know how they do that, but it's unbelievable how your voice you can hear your voice way far out, and somebody else just come on regular, and they pick the regular person. I don't understand it at all. But, you kept working hard, and you where you are now.
But we have to remember those shows, or that show. I'm not saying those shows, that show is a reality show.
Okay.
And there's a amount of, script there. So when you know that,
yeah, yeah, you
then
understand it better. You can understand why.
exactly.
Okay. Wow. Well, and how did being on the show change your perspective on the music industry?
It didn't, because you started to see signs of certain people being favored over other people. You saw it while you were there. They were very nice and kind and accommodating to everybody, but there were some that remained on the show, and you saw them favoring certain ones. And that's life. And when you can understand that happens in life, and you can understand that happens in the business, then you can be successful, because you know what it is. You chew the meat, spit out the bones, and you keep it moving.
That's all. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
The good thing about it is you work with some of the best. Of course, you work with both team, John Legend and team Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the biggest difference in their coaching style? Like, how is their coaching style different from the other?
Well, I think it's personality-wise. John Legend is real chill.
Okay.
So when he talks to you, it's real calm, it's real chill. Okay. He's laid back. He's extremely kind, extremely nice. I would love the opportunity to be able to work with John Legend again. Mm-hmm. Kelly Clarkson is bubbly. Oh, okay, now this is what I want you to do, and we're going to do this. And yeah, so you got two different personalities, but the gems, the amazing advice that they gave me, the great coaching that they gave me, both were great. It's Excellent. Just the style of how they coached was different.
Okay. Wow. And people would like to know this. What exactly did they feed the contestants while you were there? What kind of food did they give you?
We fed ourselves. Oh. And we were paid and got a stipend, and so we could eat and get what we wanted. There were no prepared meals, no buffets,
no spreads.
No. Okay. No. There was always some type of continental breakfast that was given on show days. Okay. And I think the days when we started filming live, they would more so put a breakfast out for us. Our days started at 3 and 4 a.m. Hair, makeup, all of the things. But regular days, no, you got up and you fed yourself, and wow. You got a stipend to eat whatever you wanted.
Okay, well, I guess that was a good thing. You did get a stipend,
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So, and like I talked about your accolades, and many hats. You was a principal vocalist on Dancing with the Stars, season 22. Icons Night, basically.
Yeah.
And has also provided your voice to the television shows Ash versus Evil Dead on the Stars Network, right?
Yeah, that was a cool show. So I'm a member of SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah.
So that has been a wonderful benefit for me to do that. And so when you were talking about the stipend for the voice, like, because I'm SAG, I was paid on the show.
Yeah, paid.
Yeah, so I literally got paid to be on The Voice, because as a SAG-AFTRA member, anything that you do on television, anything that you do vocally, you have to be compensated at your SAG rate. So there were people on the show that didn't get paid. There were some people that did. Dancing with the Stars, you're paid for your SAG rate to do that. Anything television and radio commercial that I do that are for advertisements and radio voiceovers, it goes through SAG-AFTRA, and then you are compensated for it. So yeah.
Not only Evil Dead on Stars Network, also Glee Project on the OWN network, and American Bible Challenge on the Game Show Network. Can you take me back to those moments? And which of those positions was most challenging for you?
Dancing with the Stars was probably the most challenging.
It was hard.
Because for one, you're not recording, you're live. So anything that I did for movies, I was able to go into a controlled setting in a studio, record it. If it's not right, I can do another take. I can do it over. I can make it better. It's like recording a record. Mm-hmm. You don't like that take, you do it again. You're on Dancing with the Stars. You're rehearsing the night before, maybe 2 days before. No, it was the night before. For us, we had a rehearsal. And then you start the next day and you're running through the show and everything is live and you cannot make a mistake.
At all.
I repeat, you cannot make a mistake because the dancers' movements are timed with the words of the song.
Okay.
So they choreograph based on the hits, based on words, based on things in the music. And you have to sing it like the record. You can't improvise and decide, oh, I'm going to put a little run here. I'm going to do this with the song.
Wow.
You have to sing it like the record because they practice to the record. And so that was the most challenging for me because you're not able to be creative with your vocals. Your vocals have to be textbook, for lack of a better description, for that show. But that show increased my discipline for music.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I love working with Ray Chu. And it was great seeing the people dance. And the season that I sang on, that episode, when I did the Whitney Houston song, I Have Nothing, the couple that danced got the first perfect 10 of the season. So I was really proud of that.
That's right.
And I was nervous as heck, but I think I did a good job.
That's wonderful. And you did. You did a great job. I want to talk about two singles, two of your song releases. One was 2020, May 2020, which was You've Already Won. And the second one was 2018, Perfect Kind of Trouble. When I go back to You've Already Won, can you give me the inspiration behind that song? And how was that studio session at that time?
Well, it's interesting you picked those two songs. Nobody ever asked about those. So You've Already Won was written based off my experience from being on The Voice and being voted off.
Okay.
So when I got off the show, I told you I had a bout of depression. I was sad. I felt rejected, all of that. And people were coming up to me and they were like, oh, but it's like you won anyway because you were on the TV. You made it to the TV. And I was like, no, like they voted me off and all this kind of stuff. So people kept telling me, it's like you won. And so that inspired the song, You've Already Won, because you made it to television. You made it that far. So that was the inspiration for that song. That was truly from the heart. And Perfect Kind of Trouble was a song that I loved. It's just a fun song. And that was a single that really didn't get promoted properly. It was a song that I released while I was on The Voice. So what happens is the end of 2018, I released the song because I wanted to just have some content out. But when you're on the show, you're technically signed to a record label, which was Republic Records. And everybody had to be signed to the label. And you're under contract with Republic Records until you're off the show. So there was a cutoff time where anybody who was a recording artist, and there were some others there, we could not release any music while we were technically under contract with Republic Records. So I released something really quickly just to have something out. And that was what Perfect Kind of Trouble was.
Oh wow! So that was that song is still resonates. Like it's a great. Both songs are great.
Thank you.
They are. Both songs, and I love those songs. And another that I would like to talk about also is the children's book. Well, you wrote the children's book, I Am Beautiful Inside and Out, based on your own experiences with bullying. And what specific messages do you hope young readers internalize, and how do you think the entertainment industry can better address issues of self-esteem and bullying?
Okay, Tommy, that's a good question. I think everybody as an adult can reflect on a time in their life where they felt teased or bullied by other kids, right? And that's just something people go through. That's something you go through as a kid. And sometimes it feeds over into your adulthood. There's mean adults. There's mean kids that grow into mean adults. So I think everybody can relate to the story of you maybe not feeling your best or feeling so great. Kids tease you. You don't necessarily know what to do. So this book is just a guide to kids to, if someone's not treating you right, they're being mean to you. First of all, you don't have to be their friend just to fit in, and go tell an adult and put a stop to it. And I think part of the problem is a lot of kids do not have coping techniques how to deal with that. So this book is to give kids a guide on what to do when that happens, if that happens. And I'm proud of the book. This year, a company called the Motor City Lyric Opera, headed by a wonderful lady named Mary Callahan Lynch. We took the book, adapted it into an opera, and it went on a 20-school tour around Metro Detroit. And we took it to the schools. The kids loved it. And it was an adaptation of my book. And she has the theme, be a buddy, not a bully. And the kids really gravitated to that. They loved it. And I talked to several of the teachers in the schools, and they were, kind of saying, wow, this is taking me back to when I was a kid. Or we've had this situation in our classroom, and we're going to continue with that message of being a buddy and not a bully. So I'm really proud of that project, and I'm proud of the response we got from the kids as well as the teachers. And I'm excited because it's going back on tour next year in 2026.
So if someone wanted to, the audience wanted to get the book, where can they go at to purchase a copy of I Am Beautiful Inside and Out?
I have copies that I will send out and autograph to people personally. And you can go to my website, which is BETH.alwayssings.com. And it's right on the website, and I'll ship it right out to you.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. You've also performed with Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle to salute the mothers of Detroit. Yeah. Can you please tell me about that? Take me back to that whole moment with Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle.
So I got to backtrack a little bit. I worked with the OJs and went on tour with them for about 6 months, which was like an amazing experience. I love the OJs. Mm-hmm. And during some of those tour dates, we had tour dates with Gladys Knight. So I was able to meet her and see her a couple times. And so when I got the call to open for Gladys Knight and open for Patti LaBelle,
wow,
I was speechless. I couldn't believe it. I was grateful for that experience. Mm-hmm. And it was nice. And I've actually done background for Patti LaBelle as well. She did a couple shows with KEM, who I still sing background for. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to sing backs for her a couple years ago, Gladys Knight. And so to see them both, and of course they didn't really remember me. Patti LaBelle didn't really remember me, but I told her who I work with, and she was like, "Oh, okay." So she remembered the tour.
It started coming toward in, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what was super cool to me was my dressing room was next to Gladys Knight's dressing room, and was as she was getting ready to leave, because I hadn't talked to her prior to. Mm-hmm. I poked my head out the door, and I said, "Hi, Miss Gladys," and she said, "Where do I know you from?" And I was like, "Oh my God, she remembers me." So because she had seen me with the OJs a couple months prior, so it was just a surreal experience to work with them both. Those women have paved the way for R&B music, for Black women in music. And for me to have had that moment, that wrinkle in time, to have opened for them both. And the fact that the promoter thought enough of me to put me on the promo flyer as well. I'm forever indebted to that. And I'm grateful. Yeah, it was great.
That's wonderful. You've been around a lot of iconic, legendary artists.
I have. And sometimes I'm just like, I'll do interviews or people will say, "Tell me your story." And I said, let me just give you this disclaimer. When I start telling you with the people that I've worked with, it's going to sound like I'm name dropping and I'm lying. And I'm like, this is really my life. Like, I can't even believe it sometimes.
You can't make it up. This is your life.
I can't make it up.
That's right. Well, as I spoke earlier about your father, Johnny Griffith of the legendary Funk Brothers, how did growing up in that shadow of Motown influence your decision to pursue music? And what lessons from that era have stayed with you?
So I did not grow up in that time. So by the time I was born and started doing music, it was something that I naturally gravitated to.
Oh.
And my father.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I said because it was in you. Your father was the same. It was.
It was in me to do. And so I have a sister. I have a brother. None of them pursue music, but they love music. Mm-hmm. And when I told my dad I wanted to sing, he was like, "Yeah, okay. Everybody wants to sing. Everybody can sing." And then for him to see me actually pursuing it and doing it full time, he was very proud of me. I wish he would be here now to be able to see the things that I'm doing and some of the things that I've done. But I had heard that so as a kid growing up, the whispers and the talks were, "Oh yeah, that's Johnny. He played for Motown." And it just never rang a bell to me because I didn't really know anything about it. And I really was not pushed as a kid to study music. My parents wanted me to just go to college and get a degree and be educated. And my father wanted me as far from the music business as possible because he had been hurt when Motown left and went to LA. So he had a bad bad feeling and a bad experience from that, because as the story goes, Motown just packed up and left and didn't warn anybody.
Oh wow.
So he was, you know, he was still a little scorned from that. So he didn't really want me in the business, but he saw that I was naturally gravitating to it. And so he supported me in what I did, but he died before he got a chance to see anything that I did, you know. And so I wish that he could have been physically here, you know, to see it.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that about your pop too.
Thank you. So everything I do is just naturally to me. I never, you know, I liked Diana Ross. I liked the Temptations. I liked the Four Tops. I had heard of them, but I never even knew my dad worked for Motown. I just heard whispers, and I just did, you know, I didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't
until
know.
I found out, and I was like, what? You know, so
it had to take a little while resonate, you know. Before find out.
Yeah.
You know, some of us don't realize, or it doesn't hit you yet when things big happen for you.
Yeah.
And what was that exact moment you realized you were sharing a stage with someone who was significant part of history? I mean, when it's like, wow, I'm really here. I made it.
It's a lot of times it's surreal. A lot of times I'm on the stage and I pinch myself that I'm even on the stage. So let alone with me being on a stage with someone who I know has paved the way for me to be there, someone who has done something great, somebody who's iconic, somebody who's etched in history, somebody who maybe if they wouldn't have gone through what they've gone through, I wouldn't even be here. So a lot of times I stand there and I look around and I go, whoa, this is crazy. Yeah. Wow. I've had many moments like that.
Yeah, I'm quite sure you have, because you've been around so many different people, you know, and you're still singing for KEM. Background.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's not it. It doesn't stop there. You have appeared in 4 feature films, numerous stage plays, commercials, both TV and radio. How has your membership in SAG and your experience in film and stage plays influenced your approach to musical performance?
So one of the things that I haven't done is pursued acting in the capacity that I really want to.
Okay.
And that's something that I know that I'll eventually do more of. But really right now, I'm just really fully concentrating on the music.
Okay.
And I know, and I'm thankful for SAG, that I have SAG, because if anything comes up, I got it.
Okay.
So yeah.
You've also spoken openly about your role as a caregiver for your mother.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance your demanding career with your personal responsibilities? And what advice do you have for other caregivers?
Well, I cared for my mother for 8 years. My mother passed away last year in September. So for those 8 years that I cared for her, sometimes I look back and I'm like, how did I even juggle it? Because I was on the road, I was home, I was juggling everything. I'm also married, you know, I'm a wife, all of these things. I believe in getting help, and especially help when you can. And fortunately, I was able to have help to manage my mother and to care for her and to give her the best care while I was away. And then when I was home, we all worked together to take care of her. And then when I was away, thankfully, my husband would be home and he would manage the caregivers while I was gone. So the advice I would give to anybody who is caring for a sick person, first of all, or a sick loved one, a parent, caring for anybody, caregiver, please try to take time for yourself. And I had to learn that. I would have to take moments where I would just have to get away and breathe, and make sure that you try to give that person the best care that you possibly can, because while we are young and we feel good, we forget that our time can come, that we can be in that place where that person is. And you really have to have empathy on how they feel, what they're dealing with, what they're going through. Sometimes they can be irritable, and it's because they're not happy that they're sick and they're in that place. And just, you know what I'm saying? You have to think about, like, what if that was me and I couldn't go outside and I couldn't get up, do the things that I want to do, and I can't eat the food that I want, and what's going on in their body? What do they feel? So I really would say to any caregiver, have empathy for the patient and make sure you take time for yourself. And please try to get some help, because you can't do it all yourself.
Wow, that's well said. Wonderful. And what is the most rewarding part of your career as a singer?
Starting an album and finishing it.
Oh,
That part. Because so many times people start projects, any projects.
hmm
In your house, you can start painting a room and never finish. You know what I'm saying?
that's
The
right.
fact that I start an album and I
And
finish
finish
the
it.
album,
hmm
man, that is the most rewarding thing to me as of yet. The idea of me, or the thought that I have to start the project, the thought that I have of how I want the project to be. And then when you see it finished,
Yeah, you'd be amazed. Like, wow.
oh man, I can't. It's a joy I can't,
Yeah.
because I remember when I used to think about being a recording artist, and I used to dream about it, and I used to see other artists out, and I'd be like, oh, I want to do that. How do they do that? I wish I could do that. And then now I'm doing it. What? Can't
That's
tell me.
right. That's right. It's amazing, right? Because see, that goes to show you can do whatever you put your mind to. You can do it. You
You
just
can
have to stick
do
in
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen overnight, but you stick in it and keep sticking it, it'll happen for you.
Yeah.
Consistency.
I'm super proud of myself. Super
That's
proud of
great.
myself. Yeah.
That's great. Sometimes you got to tell yourself that. You have
Yes, you
to check
do.
yourself. My
Yeah.
wife will always talk about that.
Yeah.
You have to tell yourself that.
You got to tell yourself, you got to encourage. The song says sometimes you have to encourage yourself, because nobody
Right.
else is going to do it.
No,
And to surround yourself by people who hold you accountable
that's
and
right.
don't just, tell you great all the time when you're not.
That's right.
When you are great, they can affirm you. But when you're not, they need to tell you so you can be
That's
better
right.
and fix
You
it.
can be better. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And being as though you have been around, some of the iconic artists, what challenges have you faced in the music industry and how have you overcome them?
So the biggest challenge now is I feel like I have some really good music out. And I feel like it's worthy of people hearing and seeing me. And I feel like I would grow more if I was more visual to people.
Yeah.
The challenge that I face is promoters and other artists saying, well, yeah, you're good, but how many tickets are you going to sell?
Wow.
And it's like, okay, I may not sell as many as you want me to now, but I can't sell none if you don't allow me a platform that you have to grow. And so that's been the biggest challenge, dealing with promoters and other artists who are like, well, I had to struggle, so you will too. And or the promoters are like, well, if you can't tell me how many seats you fill, or nobody knows you in this area, so we can't book you. So with that, you have to say, okay, well, not this door, but another door. And you keep going, because eventually I'll get to where I want to be. But I have to not stop, and I have to not give up on myself. So that's been the biggest challenge.
It's sad today in the music industry because of the fact that you need followers now. They don't care about the talent. They don't care if you can sing. They'll ask you, how many followers do you have? And then it kind of overlooks your talent, So in today's world with this music thing, it's very hard to make it. And some people are doing it individually. You're doing it on your own. And it's really hard. It's harder that way.
It's even harder.
They're not giving you a chance because you don't have many followers.
They won't even give you a chance, or they'll look you in your eye and tell you how good you are, how good your music is, but no. And when you ask them why, then the answer they give you, you're like, did you forget how you started?
Exactly. Go back to that. That's right.
Oh, but they forgot.
They forgot that. But see, they already climbed the ladder, so they looking down on other people now. They're not even going to help nobody. You know how that is. Industry is something else.
Yeah.
What are the biggest differences you see between being an artist and an entertainer?
Well, they're different, because you can have a person who entertains you, but they don't take their artistry serious.
Okay.
And you can have an artist who's a great singer, but they don't entertain you. They just sing good. So I think they need to be combined. I think you need to be a great artist that entertains.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Because you look at Michael Jackson had both.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
So, there's a lot of artists out here with both, but everybody don't have it. It's just a gift that
Right.
comes with that.
Right.
Wow. Looking back at your journey so far, is there any decision you will have made differently or a piece of advice you wish you had received earlier in your career?
Mm. One of the things I wish I would have done sooner was believed in myself sooner and put music out way sooner than what I did. I was extremely insecure. I was extremely doubtful that I was even good enough.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And once I found out it was later. And I'm like, oh my God, I should have done this years ago. So I tell people, please believe in yourself. Please study and please get yourself around people who believe in you, that are able to positively help you grow, keep you accountable, have integrity in what you do, and encourage you and be able to encourage you, because artists need encouragement.
That's right.
Most artists are insecure. Most artists doubt their work and their talent. That's and they record something and they go back and change it 3-4 times because they're just not comfortable.
Yeah.
I have learned, based on sound, strong advice, to get with good producers and good people, to where when I record something, I say, hey, is that good? Did I do it? And they're like, yes. Because if I lean on my own understanding, I'll go change it 15 times.
Okay.
So I normally record and I ask my producer, I have an amazing producer, Marcus Divine, how does that sound? He's like, do that again.
Yeah, do it.
But if he says, that's good, don't touch it, then I say, move on to the next. I don't get emotionally attached and invested in the songs until they're done, until I know I have to learn what I recorded and then I have to perform them to the people. But while we're recording, if he tells me things are right, then I have to trust him, because I don't want to just keep redoing stuff. And then I don't want anybody that's going to tell me everything that I do is good and it's not.
As rushing you. They're just trying to get rid of you real fast. Like, that's fine. This and that. But you have to trust the engineer, because he's driving the force. He's behind all of this stuff.
And his name is on it too, and he's not going to put out any junk. So that's what I've learned to do. I had to learn to take my hands off and not micromanage everything that I do. I have a wonderful manager. I have a wonderful PR person, Ron. I have a wonderful producer. I have wonderful people around me that keep me focused, keep me centered. The people that I work with, I break bread with as well. And we work together very well. I have an amazing team, and I'm so appreciative of my manager, Courtney Benjamin. And I mentioned my producer, Marcus Divine, PR, Ron Ledford. I'm so grateful to have them. And they're like a circle around me, and they keep me together. And I'm so grateful for them.
That's great. That's great. And do you feel as though for yourself that you're doing just the amount of work to get where you are, or do you feel as though you can do way more than where you at now?
Oh yeah, I always feel like I could do way more. I would hope most people feel like they could do way more, but I also trust the process and I trust timing. And I believe when it's time for me to do more, more will come. And when it's time for me to step back, and because I stepped back a little bit this year, I told you my mom died a year ago. I've kind of stepped back to allow myself to heal, because it was 8 years of caregiving and working and traveling and juggling. And I look back now, I can't believe I was doing I was touring and everything while my mother was here. So this past year has been very relaxing for me. I'm getting myself back. I'm getting acclimated to my home, because my mother lived in a home with us and she passed away in the home. We were there when she took her last breath. So it was like, okay, we have to get acclimated to her not being here, and what is life like without her, and getting everything together and learning myself now, because I'm in a different space, and my mother and my father are gone now. So I have to relearn what life is like being without your parents. Because even though we're grown and we still got our parents, we always still, you still always mama's baby, daddy's, but you know what I'm saying? Because those are your parents. when they're gone, you have to learn how to be an adult. So I'm just learning a different phase of my life right now and just taking my time. And I can't believe how fast this year is going, you know?
Yeah.
And
2 more months is 26.
It's a whole nother year. And so I'm coming out of whatever grieving process that I was in and looking forward to. In fact, we just had a conversation the other day that we're ready for album number 3 now.
Wow.
I'm a different person from album number 1 and album number 2. I can't wait to do album number 3.
You got a lot to talk about.
I got a lot to talk about. I got a lot to say. I feel a lot. I'm more in touch with my feelings and more in touch with what I want to say and more in touch with my artistry and how I want to present myself. So I'm really looking forward to that.
One thing I do say about life, you cannot escape what comes to you, because what it does for you, it shapes and it molds you into another person. You know, now you can either run from it and lose your mind, or you be down for a minute and be strong. Because that's what it's about. Yeah. Once you see the outcome of your strength, you say, I can take on anything. I mean, you know, basically you can, you know. So life is a challenge, is a big challenge. And no one knows why God has placed you here, because everybody's here, God put you here. You got to go through some things. Yeah. Once you pass those hurdles, you know, you climb up to more pain, but you can handle it much, much better. So sticking into what you're doing now, you know, you're still doing the music. You still, you know, doing everything you need to do to get where you want to be. Yeah. That's strength, you know. Yeah. That's what it's about. Yeah. So I tell people, I'm like, you can't tell me I'm not strong. All the stuff I've been dealing with the past 8 years. Right. Yeah. So yeah. And it doesn't even matter what they think. You know your strength. And guess what? They see it. Some people ain't even tell you. Yeah, they see it. You know? They see it. Yeah. Wow. What was the best piece of advice another musician has given you? I would have to go to my dear friend Michael Powell from Chapter 8. Yeah, okay. Mike told me a long time ago that he felt that I was a solo artist. And this was back when I was working with Anita Baker. He's the one that introduced me to Anita Baker, and I ended up touring with her for 5 years. And after that, Mike came to me and said, you need to put your own album out. And I wasn't ready. I said, oh, Mike, I'm not a solo artist. He's like, yes, you are. He said, and I'm going to give you one piece of advice. And he said, you'll be successful. Whatever producer you work with, let them produce you. That's right. Don't come in there telling them how you do things. Yeah. This ain't what you do. Yeah. This ain't how I do this. Well, this is what I prefer. He said, let the producer produce you, and I promise you it'll work. So I think as an artist, the best advice that I've ever gotten, and everything else that I've been told by other people kind of falls under that umbrella. Okay. If you let yourself be produced, or you let yourself be managed, but you trust who you've given that position to, you can't fail. I trust my manager. I trust my producer. Right. I trust my PR person. When they say, hey, I think you need to do this interview. I think you need to do this. Okay. My manager say, hey, I think you need to do this performance. My producer say, hey, I think you need to do this song. It ain't about what I feel. It ain't about what I want. It ain't about what I like. If I want to grow, then I'm there. I do what they say. You know, how would you describe the relationship between your personal identity and your voice? Does one shape another? No. I think my personality is way bigger than my voice. I don't even think that I've come into my full voice yet of what I can really do, because I'm still learning myself. Okay. I think I'm getting there. I think I'm getting close, but I have a big personality, and so I'm a Leo. Leos are known to be very, flamboyant and everything. I can be that, but we can be very reclusive. So I think vocally, I'm in between the big show and the go run and hide. I'm right in between. Okay. But I'm leaning more towards the big show. So I'm getting there as my confidence builds, because I'm still working on building my confidence and growing. Yeah. Okay. So it's still a process. It's still a process. I'm still fully in the process, and I love the journey, and I love seeing myself develop and get better. Well, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And what does authenticity in music mean to you? And how do you strive to maintain it in the commercial industry?
I think authenticity to me as an artist means don't give an image that you can't live up to. Mm. Don't give an image just to get likes and you can't really walk that thing for real. Now, if you can give an image and that's really the image you want to portray, you're going to have to keep it up because the fans that you get, they going to always be looking for that.
That's right.
So be authentic in whatever you do. If you want to, dress up like Big Bird and that's your image, don't come out I don't feel like being Big Bird today. No, we're looking for Big Bird.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So be what you gonna be and do it. Yeah, and do it. So whatever that is.
Remember you talked about earlier when you said an artist can be dark sometimes or they be doubtful about their music, this and that. Uh-huh. How do you deal with your inner critic? Like, is that voice a necessary part of the creative process or a distraction to be overcome?
Oof. You got to learn to, that goes back to me learning how to trust or I learned to trust my producer. Okay. I can't lean on what I think. Right. I openly give my suggestions. I openly give my opinions. But I don't allow them to shape how I move because sometimes that voice can lead you in a different direction because it's your insecurity talking. And that's what you don't want to win.
That's right. That's right. Wow. You come right at it. Like you.
Well, it's something I have to deal with on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. I think most people do.
Yeah. Most people do on a daily basis, like you said. Yep. Yeah. And performing and singing, and I just need to ask this because I think it's very important for me to know. Performing requires a significant degree of emotional vulnerability. Mm-hmm. How do you manage the exposure of sharing your most personal feelings with a room full of strangers?
So one thing I try to do as much as I can is go to other artists' performances.
Okay.
So that I can see how they allow themselves to be vulnerable on the stage. Mm-hmm. So that's a practice. That's something to be studied, in my opinion. You have to learn how to give enough emotion, but not lose yourself where you fall apart on the stage.
Okay.
And sometimes you do have to give that vulnerability, but you got to practice on how to getting back in focus too. It's a tightrope walk. Mm-hmm. And I've had to learn that sometimes I may not have the best day with my husband, but I still got to go do a show.
That's right.
Or there were times where I left the house and my mother was really sick, or it was around the time my mother was dying. And I still had to do a show. I couldn't get on the stage and fall out because of my personal life.
That's right.
But I still couldn't get on the stage with a wall up and don't give the people the emotion that they need either.
That's right.
So I had to learn how to balance that. And I think emotion, and the reason why I said I go watch other artists, because sometimes you can go to a show, you can listen to an artist perform, and they're telling a story with their music, and you forget about all your problems.
That's right.
Because you're focused on that. And I go to other artists because I want to feel that. I want to know what that feels like. Mm-hmm. Then when I perform, I can know what I need to give to people. Okay. They want to come see a show and they want to escape all their drama in their life. And they just want to hear good music and see a good show.
That's right.
And that's my job, is to give them that experience. So I wanted to feel it so then I know what to give.
You know what to give. Wow, that was great. I just have 2 more questions. That was great what you said. That was well said also.
Thank you. It's the truth, though.
It is the truth. That's why I said it's well said. It's the truth.
Thank you.
What do you hope to accomplish, not just as an artist, but as a person through your musical journey?
This may sound very open-ended, but I want to do everything I want to do.
Okay.
And whatever I see that I want to try, whatever that I see that I want to learn, I hope that my music affords me the finances to do it.
Yeah.
And my music affords me to touch people that need to be touched by me and my music. So I want to do everything that I'm supposed to do. I don't want to leave no stone unturned. I want to do everything that I'm supposed to do.
That's right.
And some of those things I don't even know. They're not even presented to me yet. But when they are presented to me, I want to be healthy enough and strong enough vocally to be able to do all of those things.
To do it. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Yep. So that means that sky's the limit.
The sky is the limit. Everything. I want to do everything. If they tell me to go over here, I'm going. If they tell me to go over here, I'm going. And I want to be able to do it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And this is why I said it doesn't stop there. You know, you want to do multiple things, you know?
Yes.
You do. What's next for you? Or is there any upcoming projects, new music releases, or tours we should keep an eye out for?
Well, we're going to start working on album number 3. I'm super, super, super excited about that.
That's right. Album number 3.
Yeah, album number 3. And we work pretty quick. So 2026, sometime in 2026, album number 3 will be coming. So that's the biggest thing. And something I'm really excited about is going to be happening this upcoming Thursday in LA. So I'll be present for the Chadwick Boseman star for the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That's right.
So I'm really excited about that. I worked on a project with a really dope artist named, his name is Chadwick as well. Chadwick Niles Phillips. He's a rapper, spoken word artist. And then Nabate Isles is a Grammy Award winning trumpet player. Okay. And they invited me to sing on a song that they wrote for Chadwick Boseman when he passed away. They got it to the family. The family has endorsed it. We went to film a video. Now Chadwick is getting his star on the Walk of Fame. Wow. And the family invited us to attend that. It's going to be a black tie, red carpet reception. I'll be performing at that this upcoming Thursday. I'm really excited about that. So that's what's upcoming this week. And then I'll be out with KEM. We'll be hitting the Palms in Vegas, and we'll be hitting the Yamava Resort in Highland, California. So those things are coming up this week. And I'm just excited. Anytime I get a chance to get the mic and sing, I'm happy.
That's right. You're happy. Wow. You know, with Chadwick, did you star in the film with him, or you was next to him? Like, did you do a song?
Never. No connection. The only connection that I have with him is the 2 young men that I'm talking about. The rapper, his name actually is Chadwick as well, and which made him, when Chadwick Boseman passed away in 2020, he just came online and did a freestyle rap, like about how great Chadwick Boseman was, the films he had done, and how they have the same name.
Oh, so it picked up from there.
Picked up from there. So that's how it started. He just went online and did a freestyle rap. The trumpet player, Nabate Isles, who he did not know, heard it and said, hey, I'm going to put some music to that.
Wow.
I had met Niles because I released music in 2020 and he hosted my event. We did an online release. He had heard my music. He went back and called me. He said, hey, can you sing on this track for us? Sure. And then the song got to the family. And I have no relation to Chadwick Boseman or either of these gentlemen. This is one of these things where we met online, technically.
Okay.
And then we met his family, and they're wonderful people. They loved the song. We fell in love with them. They fell in love with us. And they were like, hey, you guys come to LA to the Star. You're going to sit with us. You're going to be with the family. And we're just like, oh my God, I'm be sitting with the Black Panthers family. Like, that's what I'm thinking. So it's going to be really dope. We're really excited. We're going to be performing the song. The music video we filmed in his hometown in Anderson, South Carolina. And we're going to be presenting the video. So the video will be out on the 20th. Okay. And it's called Superhero.
Yeah, Superhero. Yeah, I have that too.
Yeah,
I have all of that. Yep.
The video comes out. I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen anything. Wow. And this is going to be dope. So that's the thing that's coming up this week. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about seeing the stars that are coming out for him to get the star. It's going to be mayhem. There's going to be people everywhere. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited.
Wow, that's great. That's great. I just want you to know one of my favorite songs that you wrote is Free. love that song. I love the performance when you perform this song.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful song. So
thank you. People love that song. And when I tell you I wrote that song from my heart, because that was me. Right now, I'm gonna tell you that song came from me writing about wanting to be free to sing without inhibitions, with me dealing with the stage fright and the insecurities that I had. So that was me writing of how I want it to be.
Wow. Okay. And it turned out amazing.
Thank
you know?
you. I'm going to actually be performing that in LA on Thursday.
Oh, you're going to perform that song? Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's one of the songs that I'm going to perform. We're going to perform Superhero live, but I'm also going to perform free.
Wow, that's going to be amazing. I'm telling
you. Thank you.
She's a singer. She's a star. Look up her music. It's all over YouTube. Look at her social media. Can you give them your Facebook and your Instagram?
Sure. So the easiest way to connect would be if you go to my website, which is bethalwayssings.com. That's BETHALWAYSSINGS. You go there, you can get all my music, you can get the children's book. It can connect you to all of my social media sites, and my social media sites are Beth Always Sings as well.
I want to thank you for coming on to the show. Hopefully we can do this again.
Yes.
You know, I know you're going to have so much stuff going on over the years, and I would like for you to come back. But
please, thank you.
To the A-Vision, you're welcome. A-Vision Entertainment Show.
Hey, it's your girl Beth, and you're watching A-Vision Entertainment.